Hey, welcome back. You know, I said I made some other changes to the rifle. Well, here it is, an MDT ACC Elite chassis. Today I want to talk about ergonomics and why I went to a chassis from that really awesome Foundation stock. And it comes down to ergonomics. Because if you don't get your ergonomics right in PRS, you're going to struggle a little bit trying to control recoil effectively, trying to drive the rifle the way you really need to, and trying to win anything. So for me, going to a chassis was a natural progression for the adjustability. Because a stock you can make fit anybody, just like you can make a chassis fit anybody. The difference is with a stock, you're cutting material off and it's a one-way trip. If you don't know what you want yet, maybe cutting something off isn't the best plan you've ever had. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. I want to clarify that this video is brought to you courtesy of MDT. They helped me out with this chassis, and I want to thank my friends over there at MDT for their continued support of the channel. All right, back to the video. I was looking to go to a chassis, and I was between two of them, and after doing a little more looking and a little more talking to my competitors and working with their rifles a little bit, I chose the ACC Elite. The first thing I had to do upon receiving the chassis was assemble it and then figure out the ergonomics for me, because ergonomics were the reason that I got into a chassis. I wanted to shorten the length of pull so I could get the recoil pad in towards center line a little more, up on my chest instead of out on my shoulder, because your shoulder will fold when you push on it, and if you push on your chest you have to push the whole body back. The increased recoil of the 6.5 Creedmoor made this an imperative very quickly. So the first thing I did upon receiving the chassis was remove the 1-inch spacer underneath the recoil pad. It's not needed. It just isn't. This thing has got enough adjustability without it that you just don't need it, and it's heavy. So all it did was balance the rifle toward the butt a little more, and that means you'd have to add more weight up here to counterbalance it. If you're into super heavy rifles, go for it, but I am not. I am getting old, and these things are plenty heavy enough. I put the 1 1/4 inch straight profile barreled 6.5 Creedmoor action into this chassis, and it balanced 4.5 inches in front of the magazine well from the very beginning. That's 1/2 inch in front of the center of this Armageddon Gear Schmedium bag. Now with that in mind, I wanted to be between 3/4 and 1 inch in front, so I added 1 internal weight all the way up here in the front of the forend, and that's all the weight that's in this thing. Total, all up, 21 pounds without a bipod. Other things I've added are a 2-round holder so that when I run out of ammunition, thank you Governor Inslee, I have 2 additional rounds to feed the rifle. The other change I went to was a mount for the OBI that I put way back on the body of the forend. Now there's 2 mounts all the way up here at the end of the forend, but if you're hanging this from your shoulder, you're going to be banging your knees on it as you're walking. Instead, hanging it up here gets it just above your waist, so it's not banging into your legs and you can walk more easily. The other thing is it's very close to the balance point of the rifle, so you can pivot the rifle as you need to while you're walking. Third benefit to having the OBI up there is it is a thumb shelf too. You can just lay your thumb over it when you're shooting, so you have an index point for getting that forend hand where you want it. Be forewarned, don't be trying to drive the rifle with a stud sticking out the side of the rifle, because that invalidates your natural point of aim and will cause the rifle to jump under recoil, and that's not a good idea. The last thing to adjust is the grip. This is one of the key reasons that I wanted the ACC Elite, was this grip. It has so much adjustability, and as you can see, I've got it all the way forward right now because I have big hands that are mostly paw and not a lot of finger. So when I grip this grip and index off of the side of my knuckle on the bottom of the trigger guard, I land my thumb on the thumb rest without any pressure on it, and then I put my finger in the trigger guard and I can pull the trigger directly to the rear without any effort at all, and without having to have a weird grip angle, hand position, or something like this in order to shoot it. So it's just more comfortable for me like this. I may move it in the future, but for right now, this is working for me pretty darn well. Speaking of working for me, I did the worst possible thing you can do at a match, and that is take a brand new piece of equipment to a match the other day. I did it on purpose just to make the point that you really shouldn't do it. I took this setup to a PRS match out near Spokane, Washington, and hilarity ensued. I'll make a video about that for you so you know not to do what I did. All right guys, until next time, shoot straight. Think about your equipment and the adjustability of it, because it might be beneficial when you're starting out in a new game. And buying 2 stocks is expensive. I'll see you in the next video.